portrayal of Major Martin Delaney. Welcome, Tim.
Boy, if we had that, the Rebs wouldn't stand a chance. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Major Martin Robinson Delaney. I come to you out of the past. First of all, how many here think that history is important? How many here think that Black history is important? Reason why Black history is important? Because it's American history.
That's right.
Died in war.
That's right.
Before I get into the colored troops, I'm going to tell you how I became the highest ranking colored officer in the Civil War. At age 8, I seen my father beat in Charlestown, Virginia, which is now Charlestown, West Virginia. Also around that time, my mother was free, my father was a slave. That stuck with me. A northern carpetbagger would come down and sell my mother her wares. My mother was known for her talent for sewing. Myself, my other siblings were out in the yard playing. That northern carpetbagger taught us how to read and write, which was against the law in Virginia. As we were playing, a man approached us and asked who our parents were. We told him that mother was in town and father was on the plantation. A little side note, you might not know this. If your mother was born free in the South, you were born free. If your mother was born in bondage, you were born in bondage. My mother was born free, so therefore myself and my siblings were free. We continued playing. The man left. My mother came home and we ran to her and she scooped us up in her arms like she always does. And my older brother said, "Mom, a gentleman came by to see you today." And of course, my mother thought that he wanted something made, a suit, a dress for his wife, a shirt or something. And then she asked, "What did he say?" And we said, "We were playing school and he just left." I'll never forget the look on my mother's face, the horror, because she knew what had just happened. She knew we were caught playing school and her family was about to be sold into slavery in the deepest parts of the South. She scooped us up right away, wrote a note to get it to my father on the plantation, and she walked us from Charlestown, Virginia, 30 miles over the mountain to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. How many of you know that there was a black man in Chambersburg named Martin Robinson Delaney that became the highest ranking colored officer in the Civil War? Put your hand up. One. That's how history has treated us. So, moving on, I came up with an idea of how to bring the war to an end sooner and also help our people. That idea I took to President Lincoln. I gained an audience with him. I went in and I said, "Sir, I have an idea of how to bring this war to an end closer. He sat back. He looked up and listened to me, said, continue. I said, I can suggest that we take colored troops onto the southern plantations in the interior of the South, led by black officers, which there are none, and draw those slaves off the southern plantations, therefore killing the southern war machine. Because the slaves were the southern war machine. They were the teamsters. They were cooking, the harvesting. They were the butchering. They were the carpenters. They were the southern war machine that kept the southern war machine marching. He thought it was a fantastic idea. So, he commissioned me a major right on the spot. That was in March 1865. February 1865. By March, I was in South Carolina doing just what I suggested to the president. Black troops. Let's talk about that word freedom. Let's break it down. Let's go free first. There was nothing free about gaining freedom. From the time that the slave ships started coming over, whole lineages being lost at sea because either they were too weak to sell or died on the way and thrown overboard, to being lynched because they couldn't assimilate to the American way, and being made being killed so other slaves could see what would happen if they didn't follow through. I want you to think about this. How many of you, I want you to actually, this is going to be hard. Put yourself in the color of my shoes. And I'm going to ask you a question. You're a slave and you made it across the northern lines and you're free. And all of a sudden there's a call for USCT troops. How many of you would sign up and march back across those southern lines deep into the South, knowing what might be waiting for you if you're caught? How many? Raise your hand. Very freedom. It takes a lot of heart to walk back across those southern lines in a blue uniform with a musket and perform the way those men did. Several accounts, white officers said that if it wasn't for USCT troops, their pickle would have been pickled, so to speak. We fought violently and courageously because we knew if we were caught, we knew what would happen to us. Fort Wagner, some accounts, the colored men were stood straight up, shot point blank in the face as the Rebs laughed as they did it. Those men knew that might happen, but yet they put on the blue and walked cross those lines. Not too far from here, back into the South, and fought for this nation that we dearly love. So, freedom had a price. A very, very hard price for the black, for United States colored troops. I had the privilege of speaking at a reinterment out at Indiantown Gap about 9-10 years ago. It was all covered in woods just out of Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. And the farmer who lived there didn't know what that was. He just thought it was a grave because he didn't understand what was on the headstones. Generations that went by, and I guess they just let it go. Well, there was 3 United States colored troops in that little wood plot. Once they were found out who they were, we took them back out to Indiantown Gap and gave them the proper ceremony and burial that they deserved. Stuart Woods, not too far from here, 54th Mass, over there in the Lincoln Cemetery. We're all over the place. How many of you know where Mifflintown, Pennsylvania is? Out in the middle of nowhere. I got a call one day, Mr. Hodge, I think there's a USCT buried in our cemetery. So I drove up to Mifflin. Sure, there he was, with the United States colored troops headstones. So, as the war ended and we dispersed, we ended up in a lot of places. A lot of people were thankful for our service. A lot weren't. So, I'm going to end with this. I come back from yesteryear to tell you about the hardships of what we've done and what we continue to do in spirit. This year, names were taken off of walls, plaques removed. Promotions not granted. We didn't die for that. We didn't march back into the South for that. Yes, we wanted our freedom. But yes, we loved the nation that we didn't know. My name is Tim Hodge. I portray Martin Robinson Delaney, highest ranking colored officer of the Civil War. Thank you for your time.
Yay, Timmy!